Okay, so this is my 66/80cc China doll. Yes, it is mounted on a crappy Supercycle 1800, and it is a very tight fit. However, I even had to turn the airbox upside down. But regardless, I like how it looks on this frame. The rails are quite thick, so I had to make my own adapters for the gas tank. I know a lot of people just zip tie this on because these tend to break. I'm not too concerned about it. I have a backup. I have lots of backup parts now because, and I'll explain why, because I bought two kits because the first motor catastrophically failed. Come to find out that the vendor on Amazon who was selling me these kits, he was selling me the older design motors. I don't know if you can see that stamp on the base of the jug, but 7MN. That's what you're looking for. If it says LD80, you just got the old block, and a guarantee probably does not have the 1-year warranty on it to the original purchaser, which would be the vendor. So that's one thing to watch out for if you're a layman and don't know what else to check for. And me being a certified engine mechanic, small engine mechanic, did not even know about this. It took me 2 motors to figure it out. The other dead giveaway is the color of the water seal plug to keep the dirt and water and debris out of the magneto area. So look out for that. If it's blue, it's an old design. If it's red, it's a newer design. So now I know. And then there's some other differences that you'll notice if you know how to break into these motors, which I did. And I noticed a lot of subtle differences that make a big difference overall. The gaskets being one. Look at that exhaust gasket. It's not your typical black material. That's a good exhaust gasket. Then I went ahead and I decked the head, which required not as much decking as the old LD80s did. I port matched the intake manifold to the port on the cylinder jug to an extent. It needs better port matching, but it's better than what it was factory. Other than that, I changed out the spark plug right away, I always do, to the NGK BR6HS. And I gapped them to anywhere from 0.025 of an inch to 0.029 of an inch. No larger than 0.030 of an inch. I find that to be the best gap for these plugs. So, with that being said, it's factory otherwise. Now I'm going to quickly go over the bike itself. Yes, it is a Supercycle 1800 with regular factory. Well, actually, these aren't the rims that came with it. These are 26 inchers. But I mean, they still got your basic bicycle spokes. And as you can see, you know, they're not perfect. And back here, I definitely have lots of issues. And I think I even have one broken spoke. I can barely drive it right now because it keeps trying to derail because my sprocket isn't mounted correctly. Let's see if I can show that. Maybe not, maybe you can't tell. But it's not mounted correctly. As well, the rim is just the way it is. So that needs to be attended to before I can actually drive it. I hate the factory tensioners wheels, so I found a 56mm skateboard wheel to be a great alternative. I had to put a spacer in there so the wheel wouldn't rub against the bracket. I do have an arc tensioner I will be installing once she's back up and running, and I will be using this wheel on the arc tensioner as well. If you have clearance issues, if you decide to try this, there's lots of room to shave off on each side before you even get close to the bearings. It's just something to think about. Okay, well, that's a quick overview. Let's go fire this baby up and at least give her some idle time. I can't really drive it because of the way it is back here. I need to fix that before I can take it any distances. I'm not risking derailing that chain in my life or the motor. So, but we're going to start her up and show you how this motor runs. Oh yeah, before I do that, this is very important. After every cool-off period on a brand new motor, always check the torque specs of your head bolts. You will need one of these if you're going to work with one of these. If you don't have one of these, you might as well give up now. So this particular motor has only been started twice, and I can guarantee you these have loosened off already, even though I retorqued them between the cool off. Now let's go check them. Start here. You always want to go in an X pattern and never torque them all the way all at once. So let's start here. Yeah, we're torqued there. Well, so we'll go over to the other one. Over here. We're a little loose. So I'm going to pull it just a little bit and go to the next one. Over here. Check it. Definitely loose. So just a little bit. And then over here, same idea. And I'm willing to bet this one might be snugger, but we'll see. No, it's loose. Just as I suspected they would be loose. Okay, so now we're going to bring that one to full torque spec. We're going to go over here, bring this one to full torque spec. There we go. And then, I think I just did that one. Okay, then this one, I mean, we're torqued down, so the X pattern is not as important now, but it's still important. Torqued. Torqued. Ooh, that one was loose. Torqued. Okay, there. So now we're torqued back down, and that is 12 foot-pounds, or 144 foot-inches. Foot-inches, what am I talking about? I mean inch-pounds. 144 inch-pounds, and that is what you want your head bolts to be torqued at. And I suggest going over all of your torque specs. This is most important for torque spec. The rest, just make sure they're snug. Don't over tighten though, because you will strip things. Otherwise, yes, I suggest going over all that after each run until you don't have to anymore. You'll know when you don't have to anymore, because you'll notice that these will not be loosened off anymore after a certain point in time. What happens is the threads, they stretch. The bolts don't actually back off, the threads stretch. And when that happens, you have to snug them back down. I've Loctite the bolts into the block, so it's a matter of just thread stretching, torquing back down until the threads are done stretching. That will happen on any new motor you get. Okay, well, now that everything's all checked and the torque specs are all gone over, let's go start this baby up. And like I said, I won't be able to give you driving footage because I do not trust that cog and how it's mounted, and I'm not risking a derailment. I have to fix that first, but I'd like to just give this a fire up again. And you know, it's a brand new motor, so it's good to get a started once in a while, you know, even if it is just sitting. So let's go do that now, and I can show you guys how good this motor at least runs, even though it's brand new. And usually we all know brand new, they don't run perfect. This one starts nice and easy, and I'm going to display that right now. Okay, so proper starting procedure. Fuel on. Prime the carburetor, which is just hitting that, well, in this particular both-end carburetor, you just pull the lever on the bottom of it and let the fuel go through it. Make sure your flow's got lots of fuel in it. Okay, filter all the way on, and we're ready to fire it up. Easy as that. Great motor. Turn that choke off already. So this motor would work great kick-starting. Well, we'll go all the way now. Let her idle for a sec. So I'm very happy with how its motor is running. This is just an issue back here, and I do not want to risk it. Okay. Hear those RPMs climbing. I got to adjust the idle some, but I need to be able to drive it a little bit more. So I think I am going to take the small risk and do some very slow laps. You know, nothing major. I'm not going to go far until I get that rear sprocket issue figured out. Turn that idle down. Yeah, I like that better.